Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is KangaRuthless and I'm bringing you Game 2 of the best of 5 between myself, Kanga's Khan, the green Zerg spawning in the top right position of Daybreak, versus my opponent, the pink Terran, MooMooMugi, and co-casting with me again is DibzIsHere. And
hey guys.
Say hello to Dibs. And Dibs, what do you think about last game?
Yeah, it was almost close. Yeah.
If those Hellions hadn't killed 19 of my workers, I might have been a little bit, a little bit better position.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you had had that hatchery just one hex over, it would have been a completely different game.
And so we learned a valuable lesson in that game is that I did not have the perfect wall off with my hatchery, and as a result, the Hellions just kind of snuck in and killed off all the drones pretty much at the natural. I had to run back into at the main. I'm sorry, I had to run into the natural. But
look at Moomoo's base right next to the wall. Do you see that?
MooMoo's base right next to the wall?
Yeah, the little doodad. That is really cool.
Oh yeah, it does look pink. It looks like MooMoo's base, but these are actually the supply depots that Blizzard put in. So
no, not those. The Velociraptor thing.
The Velociraptor thing.
Do you not see the hologram?
Oh, I do. Actually, that's a Zergling. It's not a Velociraptor. That's a Zergling.
Yeah, same thing.
That's amazing. Yeah, I didn't notice it had that. And
your base has one too. Oh, that's sick.
Every time I try to zoom in, it just makes it go away. I wonder what that other one is. It looks like a Scourge, maybe?
Maybe we should talk about the game.
Anyways, yeah. I've sent out a 9 scout. I just want to be annoying with this drone and start pecking away at these SCVs. Unfortunately, they're really hard to hit because they're always moving around the buildings, and meanwhile, this SCV is taking hits off my drone. I will turn around and start attacking him, and I do have more hits.
A-click?
Do I what?
If you A-click the drone, it'll start attacking the working SCV and not the building.
If I A-click, yeah, but the problem is I have to make sure I'm at the right angle, because if I'm not at the right angle, then he'll start attacking the building. No,
because when the SCV swings around, he'll start attacking that SCV.
Right.
Just an interesting little trick.
That's kind of what you do against that's what you do against bunker rushes. You keep your drones in one position. Like say if he does a bunker rush in your mineral line before your hatchery is finished, and he does it at a certain spot where you can't really get a good surround, you get drones on 2 sides and you just kind of keep them there, and you keep them you do exactly what you said. You do the A attack on the SCV, and Moomoo might actually bunker rush here. No, he will not. He will go into the main instead. Already going ahead to send in a drone just to make sure that he can't get any free bunker rushes. That is so hard to deal with. But that's how you deal with a bunker rush, really. You just make sure that you can pick off the SCV. You keep drones on both sides so the SCV just never gets any free time to build.
And it looks like Moomoo's going the exact same reactor Hellion opening that he went last game.
And the difference between doing an opening like a reactor Hellion opening on a map like Xel'Naga Caverns, where it's really strong because of the short rust distance, and a map like Daybreak, if I'm going to do a little tour here, you have to go all the way around up here before you can get to your opponent's base. This is going to take you a lot longer to get those Hellions in, and by that time Zerg should have ample defenses set up. And I think I'm doing a much better job this game. Not going to try and give away any spoilers, but I do a much better job in defense.
Even with the rush distance, the choke is a lot smaller than it is on Xel'Naga Caverns. You can easily deny the Hellions from coming from behind.
That is very true. This is actually maybe 2, maybe 3 hatcheries wide, maybe a little bit less. I'm going to start putting out a creep tumor here with my first queen. I just want to get that creep spread out there, just to make surrounding these Hellions builds a little bit easier, or any sort of marine marauder push. I'm going to go up in here with my Zerglings, 3 Zerglings, and try and see what I can scout. 1 Zergling running up. I do see the factory with the reactor, so I know it's a reactor Hellion build. I'll immediately run away with my Zerglings, try to run them back, but Hellions are a lot faster than Zerglings without speed, so I'm going to try and run them around the other way so they do not get roasted.
Yeah. So you decided to go a Roach Warren this game, and a wall, so those Hellions shouldn't do any damage.
Yeah, so I'm starting my hatchery near the ramp. I do have 1 spine crawler going down, an evolution chamber blocking off between the Vespane geyser and this little crack right here, and I do have a Roach Warren going down, so this is a full wall off. The only way he can get through is to go through my mineral line, in which he will take a couple of hits from my Zerglings and Queens and spine crawlers, which might be there in time. The Hellions have already shown up, 4 Hellions coming in. I canceled that creep tumor. That's a nice thing that you can do, actually. And I'm blocking this entrance with my queen, so I think I did a very good job there denying the Hellions the chance to run in my drone line and roast some drones.
So, he is taking map control with these Hellions, and it looks like he is going to be doing a little bit different of a transition this game compared to last game. He's going for the reactor on the starport to maybe get some medevacs and some bio. It looks like he will be doing bio, so.
He will be doing bio this build. We do see another 2 barracks going down and a reactor on that starport, so we can expect to see a couple of medevacs coming out here shortly. He is doing a good job keeping down his minerals as well, and my minerals are getting kind of high, but I will probably be spending most of those on drones and queens. Just magnating up at the second, and look at the income harvesters tab. I'm a little bit ahead, 31 to 29, but I'm still behind because he has mules. Yeah, that's the hardest thing to deal with as Zerg is his mules all day. So look back at the production.
I hate Terran.
Well, I hate playing against Terran, but I think it's one of the most versatile races that exists in the game, without a doubt.
For sure. I mean, you're on 2 base, and he has higher income on 1 base, and gas income. It's not fair.
Well, that's because I'm only relying on 1 gas right now for income. As Zerg, you don't want to rely on too much gas unless you're going to go for a Muta Rush.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has more workers on gas, too, and still has higher mineral income. Which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I think I stopped making units, I stopped making drones here. So yeah, I'm stopping droning at 31 for some reason. And I'm not sure what I'm doing with the rest of my spending here. I'm actually just pulling up a lot of Zerglings. Now,
just now getting speed?
Zerglings still don't have speed. This is actually a mistake. I just started speed. I forgot to make speed. Sometimes this happens. You get caught up in the heat of the moment. You forget things like Zergling speed, which can be quite deleterious.
This build could be quite effective because he's going for a lot of tech units, spending a lot of his money on SCVs, and he doesn't really have that big of a core army, or a wall, or any bunkers. No, so this amount of speedlings could really do a lot of damage versus what MooMooMugi is doing.
Exactly. Now my Overlord does scout these 2 medevacs heading out. They are loaded with Marines, and I really should just keep some Zerglings back in my natural and in my main, but we will see how I deal with these drops. And I have to say, this game, Moo does a phenomenal job with his drops. Maybe not phenomenal, but we'll see exactly how I deal with these drops. They're just really nasty for Zergs to deal with. So first drop will arrive in my main unscouted, and he will stem in here and start picking off a lot of drones. A little bit of a late response from me. I'm not pulling back these drones. They are finally deciding to leave. But these Marines have picked off so many of these drones. Now the drop will be picked up. Meanwhile, let's see what happened to the other drop. I'm not sure where it went, actually. I don't see his other drop.
It's still at the watchtower.
Not sure what it's doing at the watchtower. And he's hanging out here with these...
He's going to see all the lings.
He's going to see all the lings. Let's see how Moo reacts to this. Now, he does have a tank out here. He could siege it up. But his tank production is going to be really slow because he's been spending so much on medevacs, so much on
Depot is a little late.
Bio. So yeah, I'm going to run in here with these Zerglings, get a good surround on all these units, going to bypass all the Hellions and get a nice surround on these tanks. I don't think they even have siege yet.
It's really bad for Moo
don't. So this is looking really bad, actually.
He does save the tank, though, in the medevac.
Yes.
That's pretty good play.
That is very nice from Moo here, but meanwhile, my Zerglings are going to be able to run in and start picking away at these SCVs. All these SCVs are in danger. He has nowhere to run. He's going to lose all of these SCVs. Let's go to the Workers Lost tab. I have killed 17, so we have tied up. Actually killing 22 workers. So that is going to bring me right back in the game. I think that was a very nice counterattack, actually, and I'm going to start picking away at this factory as well. I do not want to see any more tanks coming out anytime soon, and now I have Moo stuck on 1 base.
Yeah, I think what would be good at this point would be to stop making units and take a really greedy third and just drone out.
And that's exactly what you do as Zerg in this position, but let's look at the income tab. I'm actually behind in harvesters because I have not remade any drones. I'm not sure what I'm doing at this point. I'm actually making my hatchery at my main into a lair, but I'm not making any drones. This is a huge mistake. This is a great opportunity for me to make drones. Throw down an expansion like you suggested would be a great idea. And just what I'm doing now is I'm focusing a lot of my APM on patrolling this map with my Zerglings, making sure that he does not feel safe to push out or expand or anything of that sort.
It doesn't really matter that you have him on 1 base because he's Terran.
Well,
So.
he can drop plenty of mules, but if I can keep him to one base, I can pretty much keep him on one sort of tech path. It's not as easy for him to get anything like Thors or upgrades. He has to focus. He is actually getting +1 infantry armor, but he just won't be able to make that much.
Terran can still get Thors on one base. Terran can actually do every tech path on one base.
They can, but it won't be strong against Zerg. And I guess that's what I was trying to say here.
Yeah.
My Lings should see these Hellions coming out, and they should run out and attack them, but they're going to hang out the watchtower. I must be focusing on something else because I'm not making drones. Should be a great idea at this point in time.
We do have quite a bit of larva, so
Tons.
I would like to see 2 more hatcheries at the 3rd and 4th, and then just so many drones.
I
I
think
think that would be quite effective.
I think now would be the best time to just spam drones. I could probably make my way up to about at least in the mid-50s if I spent all that larva on drones, and I have enough to support it. I
And
could
+2/+2 for your Lings. I
exactly.
think if you had done that, you'd be in a much better shape right now.
But I'm going to catch this units out of position yet again. These tanks are not sieged up. I'm going to be able to pick off both these tanks, resetting the tank count yet again. And these Lings are going to have to run out because there are just too many Marines with stim and tons of medevacs here.
So many medevacs. You can't even do damage.
I need infestors.
Yeah.
Infestors are great for taking out medevacs. Mutas also do the trick if you can make sure and get the medevacs before they land all the Marines. Right now, as you can see here, I'm still only on 27 harvesters. More Lings coming out. I'm not sure why I'm making Lings in this position and not drones. I can totally afford drones. But just staying on tier 1 tech, I'm just now throwing down a Baneling nest. I don't have a spar on the way.
So are you going to try to, like, bust him before he takes a 3rd?
I think that's what the idea was, or just to pretty much fend off any sort of push he does, but he has so many medevacs, I should have known he would go for drop play. And that's one thing that makes sense is Terran. He's far behind. I mean, if I've been playing this correctly. Okay, now we see 19 drones on the way. That's much better. That's actually going to help out my income significantly. And this 3rd base is going to go up. These drops aren't going to do squat, but I need layer tech really to fend off these drops. You can't just do it with tier 1. You can only do it for so long.
This drop in the main.
Oh, there is a drop in the main. He is going to drop 6 Marines. They do stim. My drones immediately run back. I'm having to recollect all my
Good
Lings.
reaction time. Yeah.
But I think they're going to be enough here to pick off this layer, and if they pick off this layer, this is going to set me behind significantly, and yes, they are going to pick off the layer. So now I'm in tons of trouble. I am stuck on hatchery tech, and I'm against a 3-base Terran. That is never where you want to be as Zerg.
Yeah.
So
PT at the Terran's 3rd, so you can't even really run by that anymore.
no, not at all. And what you want to do in that position, when you know your opponent is going drops, is you actually want to leave a couple of units back at your bases. Maybe a couple of Lings and maybe 1 or 2 Banelings as well to pick up any sort of Marine drops that he does. But as you can see, I'm only mining off of 2 bases. Only 1 base, actually. I still need to transfer these drones to my 3rd.
Very oversaturated.
Very
Almost 2
much.
pages.
And creep spread is grinded to a halt. I'm just making lots of Lings at this point. At this point, I'm kind of lost. I'm not really sure what to do. Finally transferring some drones over to this expansion. A little bit too late. And remaking my layer, so I'm stuck on layer tech. And this means I can't get my +2 attack, I can't get Mutalists, I cannot get Infestors, and Terran is on 3 base, and this attack that he's gearing up for is looking really nasty.
Yeah, that supply count is a lot higher than yours.
158, 160 supply to 96. I am going to see this
And you run
Planetary
all the
Fortress.
Banelings into the PT. Ooh.
Got all my Banelings in one group. Let's see what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and take out this 3rd. I will take out the 3rd, but I just don't leave enough Banelings to take out the rest of this Bioforce. They do not have speed, and these Marines will be able to pick off the rest of this unit. If I'm able to get some good Baneling hits, maybe I can do some damage, but there's just not enough Banelings, and I don't split my Banelings well enough. He does have plenty of Marines coming to reinforce. I think he is on, how many barracks actually? He's on 6 barracks against my 3 hatcheries, or 4 hatcheries, so he's going to way overproduce, and I know this push is
And he
coming.
still has tons of Marines back at his base. So even if you manage to kill this, these units off, you'd still be pretty screwed.
Yeah, and this push is coming in. He's actually been able to pick off my 3rd with another drop. And at this point, I know the game's up. I'm just going to see how many of his units I can kill with this one last desperate push. But with this many medevacs, it's not going to matter. Even if
So
I had
many.
3-3, it's just so many medevacs. That will do it for the good game. So I threw away a potential win just by not responding to drops. I did a great job denying his natural, but those drops came in and just I didn't have any response to it.
Definitely think this is a lot closer than the last game.
Oh, it was.
Good play by both players.
But lots of room for improvement. Maybe next time I will take my own advice and leave some units at my bases. If I see lots of medevacs, you know there are going to be drops. So anyways, that'll do it for Game 2. We'll bring you Game 3 momentarily.